The halo effect. This fascinating psychological phenomenon is our subconscious tendency to let an overall impression influence our evaluations of someone's specific traits. Picture this. You meet someone who is incredibly attractive. Because of their good looks, you might also assume that they're smart, kind, and funny. This is the halo effect in action. We're letting one positive trait, their attractiveness, cloud our judgment about their other traits. It's a form of bias that happens without us even realizing it. This can lead us to make biased judgments about people based on superficial qualities. It's not just about physical attractiveness either. It can apply to any trait that creates a strong first impression. So the next time you meet someone new, or make a quick judgment about someone, remember the halo effect. It might just be influencing your perception. So next time you make a judgment, think about the halo effect. Ever heard of cognitive dissonance? Now this is a term that sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction novel, but it's actually a fascinating concept in psychology. Picture this. You're in a tug of war, but this time it's not with ropes. It's with your own beliefs, values, or attitudes. Cognitive dissonance is just that. The mental discomfort you experience when you're holding two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes. Imagine believing in healthy eating but also loving fast food. Or being a staunch environmentalist who loves long, gas-guzzling road trips. That unease you feel? That's cognitive dissonance. It's like an itch in your mind that you can't quite scratch. This internal conflict can lead to some pretty interesting behavior as we try to reduce this discomfort. Some might change their behavior, others might change their beliefs, and some might even go into denial. It's a constant battle in our minds, isn't it? Moving on to the bystander effect. This intriguing phenomenon of human behavior is rooted in social psychology. It refers to situations where individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim if there are other people present. Odd, isn't it? You'd think that more people would mean more help, but it's quite the opposite. You see, when we're in a crowd, we often think someone else will step up. We believe that with so many people around, surely someone else will take action. This diffusion of responsibility can prevent us from stepping in when help is needed. But here's a thought. What if we all decided to act, regardless of the crowd? What if we stopped assuming someone else would do it and instead became that someone? The bystander effect is a reminder that we each have the power to intervene, to help, to make a difference. So remember, you can make a difference even in a crowd. Let's now discuss confirmation bias. Picture this. You're convinced that your favorite restaurant is the best in town. You're always on the lookout for reviews, articles, and testimonials that agree with your belief, while avoiding or discounting those that don't. This is a classic example of confirmation bias. It's a psychological phenomenon where we subconsciously cherry-pick information that aligns with our existing beliefs and disregard the rest. Think about it. How often do you find yourself nodding along to a news article that aligns with your views, but then switching off when you come across one that challenges them? That's confirmation bias at play. It's a tricky little bias that can lead us down the path of flawed decision-making and misguided beliefs. And while it might feel satisfying to have our beliefs confirmed, it's important to remember that true knowledge comes from challenging our assumptions. Our minds love to say, "I told you so." Ever met someone suffering from the Dunning-Krueger effect? This fascinating facet of human behavior is a cognitive bias where individuals of low ability experience a sense of illusory superiority. In simpler terms, they mistakenly believe they're smarter than they actually are. Imagine a novice chess player who's just learned the rules. Suddenly they're convinced they're the next Magnus Carlsen, despite losing game after game. That's the Dunning-Krueger effect in action. It's not limited to chess, of course. It can happen in any field, from cooking to politics. This effect is the placebo effect. A fascinating psychological phenomenon. The placebo effect is, in essence, mind over matter. It's the beneficial effect produced by a placebo drug or treatment, which can't be attributed to the properties of the placebo itself. So what's the secret ingredient? The patient's belief in the treatment. Picture this. You're given a sugar pill, but you're told it's a powerful headache remedy. Miraculously, your headache fades away. The pill didn't do anything. Your belief did all the work. It's a testament to the power of expectation and belief. Our brains are capable of creating genuine biochemical responses simply because we believe we're receiving treatment. The placebo effect has profound implications for medicine and psychology. It's a powerful reminder that our mental state can significantly influence our physical health. It challenges the traditional separation of mind and body, and underscores the immense potential of the human brain. Belief is a powerful medicine, isn't it? Ever experienced the Pygmalion effect? You might not know it by name, but it's a fascinating psychological phenomenon that you've probably encountered. The Pygmalion effect refers to a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, where higher expectations can lead to an increase in performance. Imagine you're learning to play a musical instrument. If your teacher genuinely believes you have a natural talent and communicates this to you, chances are you'll work harder and perform better. That's the Pygmalion effect at work. It's not just in music or sports, this effect can be seen in educational and business settings as well. It's all about the power of expectation. When we believe we can do something, we're more likely to put in the effort and make it happen. And when others believe in us, that can be even more motivating. So remember this intriguing phenomenon next time you're setting expectations for yourself or others. Expectations can indeed shape reality. Shape? Do you know about the bandwagon effect? Well, it's a fascinating psychological phenomenon where we tend to mirror the actions of the majority, even if those actions are in stark contrast to our own beliefs or views. It's like a mental shortcut we take when we're unsure about a decision. We just follow the crowd thinking, if everyone else is doing it, it must be the right thing to do, right? This effect is everywhere. It influences our political decisions, our purchasing habits, even the music we listen to. Ever found yourself humming a tune you don't particularly like, but it's just so popular you can't escape it? That's the bandwagon effect in action. But here's the thing. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't make it right or wrong. It's always important to question the status quo and make informed decisions. So, are you really making your own decisions or just following the crowd? Ever felt FOMO or fear of missing out? It's a fascinating phenomenon that's become increasingly prevalent in today's hyper-connected world. FOMO is an anxiety, a kind of social angst that an exciting or interesting event may currently be happening elsewhere, and you're not part of it. Imagine scrolling through your social media feed on a quiet evening at home. You come across pictures of friends at a concert or a party. Suddenly, you're seized with a sense of unease, a nagging feeling that you're missing out on something fun, something worthwhile. That, my friends, is FOMO in action. It's a curious effect of our digital age, a byproduct of our constant connectivity and the endless stream of updates about other people's lives. FOMO can be a powerful motivator, pushing us to say yes to experiences we might not otherwise choose, all because we don't want to feel left out. It's the age of FOMO, isn't it? Lastly, let's uncover the Ikea effect. Now, don't be fooled by the name. This isn't about your love for Swedish meatballs or maze-like furniture stores. The Ikea effect is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that refers to a cognitive bias where we humans tend to value things we've had a hand in creating far more than things we haven't. Imagine this, you spend an afternoon wrestling with flat-pack furniture, deciphering cryptic instructions, and finally, after a few wrong turns and a couple of stripped screws, you've got a bookshelf. It may not be perfect, but it's your bookshelf. You built it. And that, my friends, is the Ikea effect in action. This bias can influence our behavior in surprising ways. It can make us overestimate the value of our DIY projects, or even make us more attached to our ideas at work. So, are you more attached to that bookshelf because you assembled it yourself? So, these were 10 mind-blowing psychology facts about human behavior. From the halo effect that has us making snap judgments based on appearances, to cognitive dissonance forcing us to reconcile conflicting beliefs, we've explored the bystander effect, where the presence of others inhibits our response to emergencies, and the confirmation bias that has us favoring information that supports our preconceptions. We delved into the Dunning-Krueger effect, highlighting our overconfidence in areas where we lack knowledge, and the placebo effect, demonstrating our mind's power over our body. We've also unraveled the Pygmalion effect, showing how expectations can shape reality, the bandwagon effect that influences us to follow the crowd, the FOMO effect that drives our fear of missing out, and finally the Ikea effect that makes us value self-assembled items more. Remember, understanding our behavior is the first step to improving it. Thanks for watching, and keep exploring the fascinating world of human behavior.